Hi everybody, it's Beauty. Welcome, welcome YouTubers. All right, the day we have all been waiting for very patiently for, I would say, 363 days. Pretty important day in the market, and but we'll do our work, get our basket up and going, and check out the pre-market, see what Cheddar's up to today and what they are perceiving and who they're interviewing. So give me a couple moments here and I'll be right back. Okie doke, so Cheddar is not live right now. In fact, John is putting some tweets out there that says that they will be live at the opening bell. They are not going to be live earlier today, like they had been kind of setting us up for, that we could get at least some pre-roll stuff. That does not look like it's happening. And check our channel, make sure that we're live, and then we'll get rolling on the tickers. Make sure, of course, we can get pulled up. Not a problem, and we are. Put this on mute, and welcome the chat. Okay, so this morning, because there's so much other news going on, I think what we'll do is we'll use the trading view, and I think maybe we'll use the Twitter chat to see what's going on with our names. So let's start with Starbucks today over on Twitter. There's two accounts that you can follow on Starbucks. There's their @Starbucks account, and they have a Starbucks Indonesia. You always go to the live tab. And we have the NASDAQ news reports, 8 reasons to buy this undervalued stock. They include Starbucks, Under Armour, and others. Mike Bergen writing coffee inflation about to go vertical. He's asking that you look at Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and SJM. Stock market price, trade long and short position, someone giving some advice. Speed desk, Starbucks stock rises, Longbow initiates coverage. So that's 14 minutes ago. Starbucks stocks rises, current holdings, financial graphs, chart updates, and is Starbucks going to crash or what? So let's take a look at the chart, and then we'll go into screen share. All right. What's going on with that? Okay. Okay, Starbucks SBUX. All right, so there's a big question on deck. Let's go ahead and get our screen share going. Is Starbucks going to crash? Presenting Starbucks to everyone. 15 minutes until the open. And hope you guys can see the Starbucks chart. A couple little housekeeping things I could do. Get rid of that from Trading View. And probably plug myself in. Okay, so I'm doing an analysis. I'll walk you guys through some of the logic and how you do this. Get rid of our news buttons there so the chart's a little cleaner. This is Starbucks on the daily. I'll even zoom it out a little bit further. So the question is Starbucks going to crash? So Starbucks is off its high. This is the high up here at 63.72-ish, somewhere up in there. Lots of fractals that took it to its low here, which is where we're at right now. And so that's why the question would come into play is, are we thinking that it's going to crash? Because if it does not hold this bottom, then it doesn't have any other where to go. There's nothing else to pin it to. Do you see? Now we have a candle that takes it all the way down into this gap area here on the left. So there's a major gap up. And so it can pin itself to this wick. And what we can actually do, and remember, this is just kind of the architecture of price, okay? It's not really a theory or anything of that nature. It's so that you're giving yourself some boundaries, you know. All right, I'm going to take it short, but I'm not going to take it short below this level. I'm going to take it long, but I'm only going to take it long if it bounces off of the 50% of this level. So it's offering you up different ways of pinning price to events of the past. Because we can project what's going to happen into the future, can project it, we can talk about it all we want, but none of us know what's going to happen. So you look to the left of the chart often, especially when there's this question, is Starbucks done? Are we looking at some kind of cataclysmic move to the downside for Starbucks? So clearly we know it's off of its highs. So we can see that here. It's been off of its highs since back October of 2015, so last year. What did I say, 362 days. It's been off of its highs since October 29th of last year. So we would have to know many other things. Rents, labor costs, coffee, cost of coffee, the cost of machinery. Did they retool? Did they come in and redo stores? What companies have they been buying? You know, their point of sale, the technology that even is required to run a Starbucks is pretty interesting and advanced. So, you know, we don't know exactly. And so what do? We have to go back into FinBiz and go deep into the stories and see if there's anything that can explain. Or maybe, you know, like on a monthly basis. So we'd have to look at 12 stories from the top, and then we'd look at a story coming in to the next month, the next month, and next month at about the same time. So we could lead up, at least on the news side of things, lead up to what would create these rumors that Starbucks has nowhere else to go. So we'll take a look. That's the 1 day. So that's the big view. Go into a 2-hour candle. And we'll open up the chart because we know where the high was, right? The high was here. Check our dates again. And so I have to always, you know what? I better check. All right, so this is another tell here. It's a lovely base from the cross. The base pulls off, but how much did it pull off? It pulled off more than 50%, I can tell you that. But let's take a look at a Fibonacci, and we'll grab it from here and take it to the low, and sure enough, right on the cross. Keep that there. Right on the cross, we get a cross break. It breaks the 618, and the trade starts to fall off. Now, there are rules about this. Anything beyond the 50% mark, you can see that price tried to hold in the 50% range until it just broke off again. So the ruby cross held on the 618. Hope you guys can see that. Once the cross was put in and the low, remember I'm grabbing this from the low, grabbing it from this low. So these are not numbers that, oh, I'm printing them in and that's what happened. You would always have that low. Any progressive fib guy would have had the low there because you get your cross long. But what happened here is at the moment that it hit the 618, which just so happened to be at the cross, you get the fail of the base with the handle or cup and handle. You get the fail of the 50% mark, which is down here at 56.34. 56.34 lollygags across the chart here, and then finally ruby takes the day. 841 never crossed over, and the short held, and then of course we have our move down here. The short itself is off of its deeper position, and we have that one candle. Maybe what we'll do here with 10 minutes to go to the open, we have a couple of very curious candles, and that's one of them right there. I'll go ahead and put in a circle marker, ellipse, around this area here. I don't know how tight we can go without doing some other things to the chart. So I'll keep an eye on this area. We know that the break of range, we weren't so crazy about. Remember, this is a 2 hour. 2 hour. So we're getting a 2 hour doji reversal candle in the 2 hour. Let's move into the 1 hour. So we're moving a little closer. So basically, you guys know some of the things that happened, right? The 841 never crossed. The 96 really coming in to rule the short. Anytime that you have that separation of the 96, you know that something important is happening in price, whether it's waterfall effect, you know, there's power moves going on. You have to watch that 96. And for some people, it's considered 100, okay? The fact that I use the 96, never mind about that. You could put 100 on your chart, and you would still see the same. You would still see the same things. The fact that it's a 96 goes with the other EMAs on my chart, and it works. So, all right. So we can see it broke out of range. We have some reversal candles down in here. We got a better view of those reversals on the 2 hour. And what I might do is put an annotation down here that we did see a reversal on the 2 hour, so we don't get so confused when we get too granular in here. Okay, so what they're looking at, this is something that can happen. We can see it really well on the 6D. Is that this is a ledge, so we can, like a fractal. Okay, you can count these as well too. So we have one decent one here, another one 2, this is another one 3, this is another one 4, and it's a matter of whether or not the impulsive move wants to resist the range, and it has no other place to go. So I hope you guys understand when I say it that way. Tell me where you think it's going to go. Across? Okay, it could. It could do that. It could decide, listen, we're just going to weave in and out of a range, but we have to see why would price do that. So we have to move into a bigger chart once again to see, is price interested in staying here until maybe things resolve? Could even take us as long as a couple of months for it to resolve if Starbucks is accustomed to doing that. Starbucks isn't accustomed to doing that, and there's absolutely no reason why it would bob and weave here until it can figure itself out. Structurally, it looks like it could head for another impulse move, which would lead us downward on Starbucks. With 923 with 7 minutes left, we'll go ahead and we'll open the chart up a little bit more. We'll go back to the 1 day to see. Don't worry about the way the chart looks. Remember, we were looking at the left side of the chart. We do have this superior load here. I think maybe we should go ahead and put that in, and then we'll move much closer in to see. Grab a horizontal ray, put a big chunky line in. Remember, it only spent a day down here. Spent a day here, a day up in here. Go to the left of the chart. Okay, so we have some volatility here. So it's possible. A few days we spent in volatility though, down here. So that's what it's used to when it comes down to this level, is that it is highly volatile. People are fighting for position, jockeying for position in both directions. There's a lot of risk going on, a lot of risk taking going on down there. All right, so this is the close-up. So you can see this is how close we are, and this makes a lot more sense on the fractal for price to come to the 5262 range. 5262. All right, let's check on cheddar. Go back over to our Twitter, and it's unfortunate that I can't do screen share for you guys because it looks like Yep, here we go. They're going to have GoDaddy, Blake Irving, EDX Online Earning, Venue Next, Stadium Technology Platform, SoFi segment from SumZero. Okay, good. Peter Diamandis from X Prize. Okay. And we have FiServ or FeeServ dot, ringing in the NAS. Oh, see, okay, so the GoDaddy chair, that's really interesting. So it doesn't look like we have too much going on with Starbucks, which is our focus. And they are live. Put my earbuds in. I can't broadcast their audio because that's not only is it wrong to do, but it's unfair to them as well because they're trying to build their audience. And I don't need to piggyback. But we are listening to, you know, their tone and some of the things that they're looking at. So we'll go to the Periscope. You'll see my tweets about this as well too if you wanted to watch it yourself. So basically they just have it on background music, and so we have GoDaddy, EDX, which is an on-learning destination, Venue Next, Stadium Technology, X Prize, okay, and who else? And Gabelli. They're going to be ringing in. All right, Blake Irving, the CEO of GoDaddy, looks like is going to be #1 on the deck. All right, so I don't need this piece here, and the cheddar on Periscope is here, and I'll throw this out on Twitter. All right, so there goes the tweet out. And we'll go zooming into the 3-minute on Starbucks. And we're about to have the bell ring. And here we have a gap up. We get the bell already? Okay, got it. So we have a gap up. They have some news about the CEO being dropped off for Viacom. I'm not very happy with the interim CEO. Media companies seem to always have difficulty keeping good chairmans. Jack Dorsey coming out with an interesting tweet. Every U.S. presidential debate live on Twitter. I think he's trying to push us a couple buttons. The @gov handle on Twitter says all of the 2016 U.S. presidential debates will be streamed live on Twitter through our partnership with BeautyBubbleNOW PR Newswire. They give the release. Twitter government @gov, all of the 2016 U.S. presidential debates will be streamed live. Let me go into their PR Newswire. Remember, this might take a look at Twitter. And they're deciding that they're going to pick up on the Angelina Jolie Brad Pitt story. I'm going to pick up on the Twitter story because that's a member of our basket. All right, so Twitter up 0.22%. Once again, we're just dough footing down here. Today is going to be a really interesting day in the equities market. But look at the how Twitter came up to the 51. We'll get a little closer look so you guys can see that in the 3-minute at 9:33. Look at that. That was the opening bar at 9:33, pulling back now down 0.22%. So here your opening bar reached up to the 51, almost the 243, bringing down a lot of pressure up above and Twitter falling back down. Let me read you the news that came out. Also that there was a kind of a damning story about Amazon's algorithm showing Prime members the lowest prices, but I guess not. If you do not have Prime, it was not showing you the lowest prices. $9.34, let me get to the Twitter story. Twitter and Bloomberg Media announced live streaming partnership. Twitter and Bloomberg announced a partnership to stream Bloomberg Television's live broadcast of the 2016 U.S. presidential and vice presidential debate on Twitter. The agreement is an expansion of the partnership Twitter and Bloomberg Media announced in July to stream select Bloomberg television programs. Twitter will stream Bloomberg Television's live broadcast of the scheduled U.S. presidential and vice presidential debates beginning Monday, September 26th. So that's what we have to get ready for. Expect similar technology to be deployed as we enjoyed on and with the NFL. Samsung Galaxy Note replacements will be available on Wednesday. We'll get a new phone. The offer for a replacement phone or their money back. So they're going back into the old Samsung press and showing the power of the Samsung 7. What is he saying? Microsoft plans 40 billion stock buyback and raises dividends. Microsoft is in our basket, so we'll go over to Microsoft. MS2, Microsoft 2. All right, and Microsoft enjoying a lift up of 0.86% on the day. Massive opening bars. Took our high to 57.59. Now it's a matter of whether or not did the market have this in mind. Remember, we had this very odd, and we talked about this exhaustively yesterday, this really odd cross that we had where the EMAs were pulling apart and not following suit with the cross. And then the cross stayed very narrow. Still yet, the cross was long. And then look at what happened. They broke it down to the 243. And that's why you have to be very careful at the open. We are long Microsoft in any regard to the basket. And so more than likely we might be sending out warnings, you know, to really kind of keep an eye on those highs. It took us to 57, and the opening high was 57.59, and the most recent highs were 57.74. So very, you know, the chart looks like huge, and then of course you get into the numbers. So even the way that the Microsoft kind of presents itself as this big, no, and it's a behemoth, but it's hard to get that idea when you're inside of the chart. But we did get a ruby cross signal. Remember, this is at the open. So we can stay with you until 9:50 and see that reversal happen. But Microsoft in the news in a very big way. Let me get this tweeted about the U.S. presidential debates. Spotify and Tinder team up to help you get dates. Find love through shared musical tastes. Okay, so the fan is going off just a little teeny bit. Take ourselves off of, oh, rats. Okay. Oh my gosh, darn it. I have to make it private. I have to go over to YouTube right now and make this private. Screen share did not hold, guys. Screen share is supposed to hold on the chart. And screen share did not hold on the chart. I have to make it private. because I don't know. I think that we were just going back and forth and not focusing on them. I know that you don't have any audio, but the screen share took us back and forth. Trying to make the This is the thing about the Hangouts. You know, you can't do any broadcasting work on the single machine because it's floated around, which it should not do, between my tabs. So I'm going to see if we can make it private in Video Manager. And for those of you that can hear me, thank you very much. We are doing our best to go ahead and put the video in private. Okay, I might have to shut it down and see you guys over at Fire Talk. This is a technological problem, but I do have to put the broadcast in private. Okay, see you guys in a few minutes over at Fire Talk. I also am running out of little juice and battery here, so see you over there. Thank you very much. It looks like our names are going to have some interesting activity today, and very interested. Make sure that you go over to cheddar.com. They are on Periscope today. Check my own Twitter for the link if you don't have it yourself, and I will see you guys soon. I'm going to work on some of the technical bits on my side. Make sure that when I'm showcasing you charts that that's exactly what you see. But to show you the Cheddar feed, I have to be very careful with that. I don't want to disturb anyone's their own peace of mind that I'm broadcasting or rebroadcasting Cheddar. As we put out on Twitter, we do monitor many news feeds, Cheddar being one of them because they're new to deck, and we are able to report on it. I just don't want to have the inconvenience of someone thinking that I'm actually broadcasting their feed, and I want them to hear this from me, not broadcasting your feed. I'm monitoring my own equities. I'm monitoring Twitter, of course, and the news that's coming out through themoney.net. So make sure that you guys follow up on Cheddar, and they are interviewing the GoDaddy CEO right now, and that's kind of neat. All right, so I'll see you over at the Fire Talk. Bye-bye, guys.